His art and his creativity has brought international recognition to Sri Lanka. Tagged as the maestro of novel Sri Lankan ballet that incorporates the fundamentals of the traditional, he travels the world constantly, showcasing the here and now of our country. He prefers to call his unique style of dance just body language and insists that there is no such thing called two left feet.
Channa specializes in all forms of traditional and creative dancing in Sri Lanka. His modern dance is based on Tribanga, which signifies three curves of a woman's body, and is a flexible and flamboyant style performed by his graceful young female dancers. After having acquired skills of all traditional dances under Dr. Chitrasen in Sri Lanka, he went on to study other forms of dances in India and also classical ballet in France. With the co-founder of his Performing Arts Institute, Upuli, his wife, who is also a dancer hailing from a well-known family of traditional dancers, Channa and his troupe traveled the globe widely. Channa has represented his own dance troupe in England, Paris, Italy, Spain, Belgium and Germany in Europe, Japan, China, Hong Kong, Bangkok, Singapore, Nepal, India, Indonesia, Korea and Pakistan in Asia, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain and Oman in the Middle East, and Russia and the USA. Channa has performed at the Sadler's Wells Theatres and the Queen Elizabeth Theatre in South Banks, England in 1995. He has also performed in the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Channa and troupe had the privilege of performing in the presence of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales at the Presidential House when Sri Lanka celebrated its 50 years of independence. Channa has also had the privilege of performing for former US President Jimmy Carter at the Lions Convention in Chicago in the year 2007.
Channa, thank you very much for coming on. Your beginning. There's a lot that the people in Sri Lanka don't know about you. You were born in Rangoon, Myanmar. I know, your primary education was in London. Shall we first talk about your beginning?
My father was attached to the foreign ministry, so he was on tour like Rangoon, then he was in London. So I was born in Rangoon, and then after a few months we were in London, and my primary education, everything came from London. And then we came to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, I first went to school in Kagor, then Alithia, then Carey College, and then because of sports, I jumped into Wijewardena.
Wasn't there a time that your mother was worried that you wouldn't pick Sinhalese because you were educated in London and you came down to Sri Lanka, and your mother was apparently worried that you wouldn't learn our language? Is it true?
Yeah, a long time ago. Because even at home, we speak in English because we were small days, everything was in English. So this, and my friends were also English spoken, so this country.
Dancing. You were very much into sports, and then it was by chance you took up dancing. What's the story behind you taking up dancing?
I was into sports actually. That's why I went to Wijewardena Mahavidyalaya. I lived just next to the YMCA, and rugby, basketball, table, you name it, athletics, you name it, I used to do everything. And Chitrasena, Dr. Chitrasena was a very close friend of my father's. And my sister was going for their classes, and she was actually in the troupe, in the Chitrasena dance troupe. And I had to always go and get her after classes. So after raga practice, I always go to the Kalayatana and pick her and bring her home. And one day, Srimat Vajirani saw me, and she said she wanted someone to come and sell souvenirs while we were doing a show to sell souvenirs. So myself, another friend of mine called Ravi Bandhu, he's a dancer, he's a drummer as well, and a few others, we went there, we were selling souvenirs. And I just happened to be inside because after selling, and I saw Dr. Chitrasen on stage, and he just looked like a marble statue. And I just was wondering, what am I doing? I'm doing sports, and this is unique. And all these foreigners around gaping at him, and they're just looking just stunned, and I was stunned to see him moving, and that was the day
you decided to shift your interest. Yeah. Was there any moment in your life that your dancing skills or you taking up to dancing being ridiculed, or say any one of your colleagues or your family members or your friends, did any one of them downplayed your chosen career?
At that time, my friends, they really got a shock,
An athlete going into ballet.
What's going on now? I was playing for college, and suddenly dancing, and what is this? And my final years in school, I stopped playing and I was into dancing. So this this problem came, they even next to the YMCA wondering, what is this guy dancing? But they're very, very close friends now. But at that time they wanted, because there were no male dancers as such, more, except for Chitrasena and a few, Dr. Chitrasena, there was no name. So I'm picking up something, you know, ridiculous. Now this is a girl's sport. This is something what, not a sport. Girls sort of, that's how it went.
Yes.
So
A feminine art.
feminine art. They didn't look about Thanda. It's a feminine art, and that's how, so that I had that problem.
You had that problem.
I had that problem. And
Were
going
you
on with the dance.
discouraged?
In the beginning, yeah, a little bit, but always I remember Dr. Chitrasena moving on stage, and how then when I performed, the applause and what I got like, and this is unique. Like sports, everyone does it. Everyone in every country now these games are played, but dancing is only Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan dance is Sri Lankan, unique for Sri Lanka. So, and I thought that's great, and I react to the rhythm of it and the beat and the spiritual power behind it, and you're being controlled and you don't deviate out to do other things. You're into dance, and you know, all these things came into, because in my family, one of my great grandfathers was a temple painter.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I can draw costumes and all that. All these came into it here.
Your family. We'd like to know about the story behind how you met your wife.
The President R. Premadasa, he wanted a troupe, Sirisangabo play, to be taken into 3 countries, Bangkok, Thailand, Hong Kong, and China. So he was doing auditioning dancers and actors. So it was Mr. Dr. Amaradeva's music, Dr. Chitrasena's choreography, Dr. Pani Bharatha's choreography, and Vijayananda's, and there's a lot of top actors in it, Mr. Nisanka Didenian, people like that. Then while this audition was, I was not even, I didn't know about it. They were going on, and Mr. Ranasinghe, A.J. Ranasinghe, who was one time Chitrasena's manager, he said, there is a dancer, why don't you get him? And I remember I was training Kema at that time, working with Kema, and the car came there and took me for this audition to dance. And I said, I have nothing to dance. Then I have no costume, nothing. Then just dance with the trouser. I was wearing a tight denim. I had to change my denims, and I just gave the audition, and just like that I was chosen. And that's where I met Uppuli. But before that, Uppuli's father has seen me performing a ballet called Ranatithara. I played Siddhartha's character, and he had liked the style I do, and he actually given Uppuli to write my name. And she wrote in an eyebrow pencil on the wall my address, and she remembered that. And that's the day she saw me dancing was at the audition, and we were chosen and on this tour, and that's where I met Uppuli.
And your daughter Aseka, she's a brilliant dancer, you said. Did you ask her to follow in your footsteps, or she just picked it randomly, dancing?
I didn't ask my daughter to come into dancing. She liked it. We didn't force her.
it.
Yeah, so it would be the same way. Like I never forced. Must never force a child what to pick up. You know, they find them. And she liked to come here dancing. Aseka is a very powerful dancer, and she has Uppuli's blood as well as my blood. So Uppuli has Pani Bharatha's blood. I should mention my traditional feelings and all the traditional influence came from me from Uppuli's father. I could never deviate away from the tradition because I had a strong foundation from Dr. Pani Bharatha. He was a very strong personality behind me. So I couldn't just deviate into this modern thing, youth things, because I had this major personality behind me. I have to thank him for what I've done. And Aseka, it was not dancing with. I normally when I pick up art of dancers for certain items, I thought that Aseka would have done it better. It was a teacher-student act, and it turned out to be a father-daughter in the end. And talking about Aseka, it's not easy performing with Aseka.
Really?
Because she's very powerful.
She's
very powerful. And
comes from the father and the mother.
And the mother. She's very powerful with a facial expression. I have to tell you that she's lacking the technique because she's still young. She needs a lot of technique, 16, she needs massive training on technique, but her facial expressions are very powerful. Because she has always heard my lecture, she has been in the class, and she's competing with the other girls, and it's good.
All Sri Lankan cinema's leading ladies.
And male actors.
And
Why forget the male actors?
Do not forget them. You have trained them.
Talking from Ravindra to Malini down to Sachini, Chaturika, the whole lot are in there. But I have had special students in my school. Malini Fonseca was a student of mine, Jayaweera Singh a student, Sangeeta Veera. Dilani was in my dance group. She was first a dancer, then she Ekanayaka, then these have been done. I don't think anyone knows that Jeevan Kumar Singh is a superb drummer. When I was dancing at the Chitrasena Kalayatane, he was drumming there. He's a superb drummer. Jeevan Kumar, the minister, he's a very good drummer. I don't think anyone knows, so I'm just letting it out. If you don't want to be attacked, if you don't want to be criticized, drop the ball. That's all he told me. So then I knew I'm going to be someone.
For 5 long years.